Hi students, today's topic is Kirchhoff laws. So Kirchhoff voltage law and Kirchhoff current law. So KCL and KVL. So we know the statements for KCL and KVL. So Kirchhoff current law, also known as first law, states that at any electrical junction the sum of the incoming currents is equal to sum of the outgoing currents. Now let me take one junction here. So these are the resistors. Let us say 2 amperes current is entering to this junction O, and 3 amperes, 7 amperes, 3 amperes. So what is the current direction in this one, and what is the magnitude of the current? According to this, sum of the incoming currents must be equal to sum of the outgoing currents. First of all, let me find out the sum of the incoming currents. This is a incoming current. This is also incoming current. This is outgoing. So what are the outgoing currents? 7 plus 3. This is 10 amperes. Incoming currents 3 plus 2, 5. So this must be incoming current only. So this incoming current is, let me take it as I. So we can write 2 plus 3 plus I is equal 7 plus 3, 5 plus I is equal to 10, I is equal to 5 amperes. So this I is the incoming current. Now the same thing what we can write, algebraic sum of all the currents meeting at a junction is also equal to 0. Algebraic sum of all the currents meeting at a junction is always 0. What is this algebraic sum? Here in this I wrote incoming currents as positive and outgoing currents also positive. So I took incoming currents on left side, outgoing currents on right side. Suppose if you take all the currents, then this can be written as 2 plus 3 minus 7 minus 3 plus I is equal to 0. Here I am taking incoming currents as positive and outgoing currents as negative. So that is called algebraic sum. Then you can write 2 plus 3, 5. 5 minus 3 minus 2, minus 2 minus 3. So from this you can write minus 5 plus I is equal to 0, I is equal to 5. So by using this also we can calculate that unknown current in this junction, at the junction. Now Kirchhoff voltage law, or also called Kirchhoff second law. So Kirchhoff voltage law states that here from this algebraic sum of all the currents is 0. Sigma I can be taken as 0. The algebraic sum of all the currents meeting at the junction is always equal to 0. Now this we can write, in any closed circuit or loop or mesh, the algebraic sum of potential drops across resistors is equal to algebraic sum of EMFs of the batteries in that closed circuit. EMFs of the batteries or cells, what we can write, either cells or batteries in that closed path. Now here we can write, if you take a small circuit here, this is a small circuit, this is R1, this is R2, this is E. Now, we know that this is the positive terminal, this is the negative terminal. Current always flows from positive terminal to negative terminal. Current I. So the same current will flow through this one as these two are connected in series. Now we can write the voltage drop across this one is the product of current and resistance. So I into R2 plus this is I into R1. These are the potential drop across the resistors. This is equal to the algebra sum of the EMFs. So here we have only one battery, so which is equal to E. This is a simple circuit and we can use this, apply this Kirchhoff voltage law like this. But for complicated circuits, we can apply Kirchhoff voltage law to find the potential difference across this one or the current flowing through any resistor. So that we will discuss later. Applications of Kirchhoff laws. Now let me take a simple circuit here. So this is a point A, this is point B, this is 2 ohms and 3 amperes current is flowing through this one. This is a 10 volt battery. So what is the potential difference between A and B? We know that current always flows from high potential to low potential. So by seeing this diagram we can say potential at A is greater than potential at B. Then only flow of current will be from A to B. So it is given that current is flowing from A to B. So by applying this Kirchhoff voltage law we can write the potential at A is VA. So at this point what is the potential? VA. Now what is the drop across this one? How much potential will be dropped here? The potential drop is given by 3 into 2. So this will be 3 into 2. So this much potential has dropped here. Then what is the potential gain here? As the current is moving from negative potential to positive potential, this will be 10 volts. So this is 10 plus this, and in between there are no resistors. This will be equal to VB. VA minus 6 plus 10 is equal to VB. VA 10 minus 6 is equal to 4 is equal to VB. If you bring this one this side, VA minus VB is equal to minus 4. So here, if the voltage source is not present in this one, VA always greater than VB. As another voltage source is added here, the voltage at B will be greater than this one. So we can write VA minus VB is minus 4. Suppose in the same problem, let me take one more problem. This is 2 ohms and this is 8 amperes. And here this is point A, this is point B. So here it is given that VA is equal to 5 volts. What is VB? What is the difference between the previous one and this one? Here the voltage source was present, but with that the potential at A should be greater than B. But here we got VA minus VB as negative. That means VB greater than VA because of the addition of this one. Now here in this case, VA is given as 5 volts, no source of EMF. Then we can write VA, the drop due to this current 8 into 2 minus 16 is equal to VB. VA value is given as 5 minus 16 is equal to VB. Minus 11 is VB. So potential at B is minus 11. So from this, if VA is 5 volts, VB is minus 11 volts. So here we can write VA greater than VB. Here also we can write VA greater than VB if the source is absent. If any source is added, then VA may be less than VB, VA equal to VB. We will check one more problem. Now, in a similar problem, this is resistance of 2 ohms, current of 4 amperes, but the voltage source is reversed like this. And this is, let us say, once again 10 volts. So this is A, this is B. So how to find the potential difference between the two ends of this one? So I am writing this VA. The potential drop due to this one is 4 amperes. Potential drop is equal to current into resistance. This is current, this is resistance. 4 2s are 8. Then here as we are jumping, that means current is jumping from positive terminal to negative. So finally the potential here should be taken as negative. So minus 10 is equal to VB. So VA minus 8 minus 10 is VB. VA minus 18 is equal to VB. So here VA minus VB is equal to 18. So if there is a source, then VA greater than VB if current is flowing from A to B, or if the source is connected in the opposite sense, VA may be less than VB. So we cannot come to a conclusion by seeing the diagram. After getting this one only, we can say here in this case VB greater than VA. Two more problems on the same concept. They are asked to find out the potential difference between A and B. These models are very, very important for competitive exams. So please try to understand the concept. So first I am writing, for this point potential will be VA. Now let us say some current is flowing here. Let me take 1 ampere current. So what is the potential drop across this one? Minus 1 into 3. Then the same current, 1 ampere current is traveling from low potential terminal, negative terminal to positive. So finally reaching, it will gain that 10 volts potential. So it is gaining as it is jumping from lower to higher potential, plus 10. So the same current 1 ampere is passing through this one. Here it will lose the potential. So 1 into 4, this is minus 4. Now you see, now the current is jumping from positive to negative. So it will lose 12 amperes here as it is jumping to negative finally. So it will lose 12 amperes voltage here, minus 12. Here it is gaining, here it is losing. This must be equal to the potential at point B. Now we can simplify this equation. VA minus 3 plus 10 minus 4, this is minus 16 is equal to VB. VA minus 3 minus 19 plus 10 minus 19 is equal to VB. VA, this is minus 9 is equal to VB. VA, if you bring this one this side, minus VB is equal to 9 volts. So this is the potential difference between A and B. Now, similarly, in this problem also, we need to find out the potential difference between A and B, potential difference between A and C. So we are using the same concept here. First, let me take the first part. This is VA minus VB. So from here to here, so I am going to write. But the current is not given here. Let us say this is 5 amperes current. Let us say in this 3 amperes is moving in this direction. 2 amperes is moving in this direction. Why? Because at this junction, incoming current is 5. If it is 3, sometimes they won't give this value. So we have to apply Kirchhoff current to find the current in this branch. So it is found that this is 5 amperes, this is 3 amperes. Now, this can be written as VA, the current into resistance, 5 into 6, minus 30. Here it is jumping, so it is coming to negative terminal, so it will lose 20 volts here, and then as it is 5 amperes, once again it loses 5 fours, 20, and in this is only 3 amperes current, minus 3 into 1, and it is losing 4 amperes here, minus is equal to VB. So this is VA, all are negative values here, minus 30, minus 20, minus 50, another minus 20, minus 70, minus 73, minus 77. So this is 77 is equal to VB. So VA minus VB is equal to 77. So this is the potential difference between point A and B. So by using this, you can find out the potential difference between A and C. Once again, the same concept. First you take the potential at this point as VA, and this will be same, minus 30, this is minus 20, this is minus 20. Here as the current is going here, out of 5 amperes 3 amperes going there, so the current through this branch we have to find out it as 2 amperes, but 2 amperes current is coming to net terminal, so once again it will lose 3 volts here, so 2 2s are minus 4, which is equal to VC. So from this we can write VA 30, 50, 70, 73, 77. Minus 77 is equal to Vc. So in this problem also we are getting this potential drop as 77 between A and C also. If the numbers changes, the value might be different here. Two more similar problems here. So two cells are connected here with the negative connected to negative, and these are the resistors. So what is the potential difference between P and Q? To find out the potential difference, we have different methods. As it is a closed circuit, previously we used a open circuit. Now here this is a closed circuit. So now let me find out the total resistance of this total circuit. R equivalent is given by 1 plus 2 plus 9. This is 1 plus 2 plus 9. This is 9, 10, this is 12 ohms. And out of these two, this is the bigger cell than this one. So E equivalent is given by 12 minus 8, 4 volts. So what is the current that is passing through this one? I is equal to E equivalent by R equivalent. E equivalent is 4, R equivalent is 12. This is 1 by 3 amperes. Now I want the potential difference between P and Q. This is the path. You can use this and you can find out the potential difference between P and Q like that. Otherwise, as 1 by 3 amperes current is passing to this one, the potential difference across this one is equal to the potential difference between P and Q. So Vp minus Vq, as it is having high EMF, the current will come from this one. It will not come in the opposite direction. As 12 volts is greater than 8 volts here, this will dominate in this circuit. So that's why the current is coming from this positive terminal of this cell. Now this can be given as the current into resistance, that is I into R. I is 1 by 3, R is equal to 9. So this is 3 volts. So the potential difference between P and Q is equal to 3 volts. So this is equal to 3 volts. But this is without using Kirchhoff law. If you want to use Kirchhoff law, what you can write? I am going to write this one between P and Q. By using Kirchhoff voltage law, let us say the current coming from this battery is I. So what is the potential drop across this? 1 into I. This is the potential drop here. I am not taking it as negative. Then 9 into I, that is the potential across this one, plus here 2 into I. According to Kirchhoff voltage law, sum of the algebraic sum of the potential drop across each resistor. We have 3 resistors here. So here potential drop is 1 into I, here 9 into I, here 2 into I. So these are the 3 potential drops, which is equal to the algebraic sum of the EMF of this circuit. Now if you start from this point, there are no batteries, but here as we are jumping here, so it is losing minus 8 and here it is gaining plus 12. So this will be 9 plus 10, 12 I is equal 4, I is equal to 4 by 12. This is 1 by 3 amperes. This is the current that is passing through this one. Once you get this I value, then you can find the potential difference between these two. Or you can write, as we want Vp minus Vq, here current is moving in the opposite direction. So Vp, so as you are moving from here to here, current is opposite. The potential drop will be I into 1. I is already, I got it as 1 by 3. So this is 1 by 3 into 1. This is the potential drop. Previous case, the potential drop I have taken as negative. Here this potential drop I should take it as a negative of negative. So this is positive plus 1 by 3. Now I am moving here minus 12. Now this will be plus 8. And here this will be, as the current is coming in the opposite direction, this is also 1 by 3 into 2 plus 1 by 3 into 2, which is equal to VQ. So this will be Vp. 1 by 3 plus 2 by 3 will be 3 by 3, which is equal to 1. Minus 4 plus 8 will become minus 4 is equal to VQ. Vp minus 3 is equal to VQ. So from this we can write Vp minus Vq is equal to plus 3 volts. This is what we got by using this method. Students can follow either this method or this method, and generally in some problems if we use this Kirchhoff voltage law, you can solve the problem in a short period of time. Now let me check this one more problem. Find the PD between A and B. So this is a point which is at a potential A, VA, this is VB. I need to find out the potential difference between A and B. Here we have 3 cells. Let us say the current coming from this one is I1, current coming from this cell is I2, and this current is coming like this, passing through this one, and let us say it is going like this. But you may think that some current may move in this direction. But see, out of I1, let us say some current is coming. Here the incoming current to the negative terminal must be equal to I1 only. If I1 current is leaving here, I1 current should enter here, because there should not be any wastage or the consumption of the current. The same current will here enter into this one. The only difference is this is the current with high energy, this is the current with low energy. Energy means here we call it as potential. This is the current with high potential, and here it will lose some potential, here it will lose some more potential. The same current has to flow here. Similarly here also, this is I2, and the incoming current to this negative node should be equal to I2. So here current should be I2, here current should be I2, here it should be I2, here it should be I2. That means no current will pass through this one. Now this is the circuit. Now from this circuit I am going to apply Kirchhoff voltage law. I want a potential at this point. First let me find out I1 and I2. Here I can write 3I1 for this first loop. I am writing for first loop, I am going to write 3I1 plus 2I2 is equal to 2. This is the formula. And for second loop, this is a second loop. Here I am going to take in this direction. So this is 3I2 plus 5I2 is equal to 4. So these are the values. But what is this 3 plus 2? 5I2 is equal to 5I1. This is I1. 5I1 is equal to 2. So I1 is equal to 2 by 5 or 0.4 amperes. So the current in this circuit is 0.4 amperes. Here 3 plus 8I2 is equal to 4. I2 is equal to 4 by 8. 0.5 amperes. Current in this path is 0.4, current in this path is 0.5. So after finding these two values, now I want to find out the potential drop between A and B. I want to find out the potential drop between A and B. So let me take this circuit here. So VA plus potential drops here and then equal to VB. So this is VA. As I am moving from here to here, actually I1 current is coming up, coming down. So I am moving opposite direction of current. Potential drop here is 3I1. But as I am moving in the opposite direction, this will be minus of minus 3I1. Remember, I1 current is coming here through the 3 ohms resistance. So what is the potential drop? Minus 3I1. As I am moving opposite to this one, this will become minus of minus 3I1. And then here, after moving to this one, I am going to here. I am jumping to plus 4. So I can take plus 4 here. Now I am moving from top to bottom, and the current is also moving from top to bottom. So this will be minus of 3I2. The potential drop here will be 3I2. This is the drop. Drop is always considered negative. But if current is flowing in the same direction, this will become minus 3I2. If current is flowing in the opposite direction to our path, see here I am moving from A to B via this path. I am moving like this. Drop is 3I1, minus 3I1. But as I am moving opposite to this one, minus of minus. But here as I am moving down, current also moving down. So 3I2 minus 3I2. This is equal to VB. So now I can write VA plus 3I1 plus 4 minus 3I2 is equal to VB. So VA plus 3. What is I1? I1 is 0.4 plus 4 minus 3 into 0.5 is equal to VB. So this will become VA 3 fours are 1.2 plus 4 minus 1.5 is VB. You can see this one 4 plus 1.5, 5.2 minus 1.5. So VA plus 5.2 minus 1.5 is equal to VB. So this is VA. Here you can see this value 5 minus 1, 3.5, 3.7. So this is 3.7 is equal to VB. So VA minus VB is equal minus 3.7. See this problem. This question was given so many times in competitive exams. In the given circuit, the reading of galvanometer is 0. So find that X value, X resistance. Now, here to apply Kirchhoff voltage law, first let me take some points here. This is A, this is junction B, this is C, this is D, junction E, and let us say this is F. In this problem it is given that the reading of the galvanometer is 0. That means no current is flowing between B and C. When no current is flowing here, so there is no current in this path also. So whatever the current that is coming from the battery is passing through this one and passing through this one only and coming back to the battery. No current is flowing in this one. We know that the current through a circuit will become 0 only if the potential difference between B and C must be equal. So if the potential difference here is something potential, here the potential should be same. If VB is equal to VC, then no current will flow here. But you can see this one, here there is a 2 volt battery. This is a negative terminal, this is positive terminal. So what is the meaning of 2 volts here? The negative terminal is maintained at 0 volts. The positive terminal should be at 2 volts. That is the potential difference between these two. As there are no resistors, here this is the 2 volts. The potential at point C is 2 volts. The potential at point D should be 0 volts. Here even at E point this is 0 volts. If it is 2 volts, it must be 2 volts. I think you got the picture here. Here if these two are same potential, no current will flow. As it is connected to plus 2, this as there is, if there is a resistor here, then there will be some potential drop here. As there is no resistance between the positive terminal and point C, so same potential can be seen here. And as there is no current through this one, 2 volts and 2 volts must be equal. Now we got that point. VB is equal to VC. Now, what is this potential? Here 0 volts, no resistor here. This is also at 0 volts. So this is 0, 0, 0. Now here it is 0 volts. This must be at 10 volts. The positive terminal should be maintained at 10 volts. Now the potential at A is also 10 volts. Now I got two values. Potential at A is equal to 10 volts. Potential at B is equal to 2 volts. And the resistance here is 400 ohms. So I can write current I is equal to potential drop between A and B by resistance between A and B. I is equal, what is potential at A? This is 10 volts. What is potential at B? At B it is 2 volts. Resistance between A and B it is given as 400. So this is 8 by 400. 8 ones, 8 fives. So the current is 1 by 50 amperes. So the current which is coming from the battery, which is passing this one, this is equal to 1 by 50. This is also 1 by 50. According to this problem, reading through galvanometer is 0. That means no current is passing between B and C. Whatever the current that is coming here, passing through this one, will pass through this one. So I is equal to 1 by 50. So what is the potential difference between these two? Now let me take these 2 points B and E. Now between B and E, we can write VB is at a potential of 2 volts, VE is at a potential of 0 volts. And how much current is passing between B and E? Current between B and E in the branch is equal to 1 by 50 amperes only. Now I want to find out X value. So according to Ohm's law, V is equal to I into X. This is potential between B and E. This is the current through BE into X. So what is VBE? The difference between these two, that is 2 minus 0 is equal IBE, which is given by 1 by 50 into x. So by cross multiplication 2 into 50 100. So the value of x is equal to 50 into 100, that is 50 into 2, that is 100 ohms. So x is equal to 100 ohms. Circuit theory. So how to solve some complicated circuit without using Kirchhoff voltage law or Kirchhoff current law. First of all, let me take a simple circuit now. This is 2 ohms. It is connected to a battery like this, and this is a 10 volt battery. So without using Kirchhoff law, by using the Ohm's law, we can find the amount of current passing through this one. So amount of current I is equal to total voltage by total resistance, that is 10 by 2, which is equal to 5 amperes. So 5 amperes current is passing through this one. The same thing, this is by using Ohm's law, but now you using this cell theory. Now always you consider the negative terminal of a battery as cell as 0 volts, positive terminal 10 volts, such that the difference between these two equal to this. As it is 10 volts, this end is also, as there is no resistance in this path, here this is 10 ohms, this is a 0 0 0, this is 0 volts. So what is the potential difference between these two ends? So this is 10 minus 0, once again this. So the current coming from this one is given by 10 minus 0 by 2, which is equal to 5 amperes. Now actually why we have to use this concept? Why? Because in the complicated circuit also we are going to use this concept only to solve the problems. That's why for a simple circuit without using that concept we can use direct Ohm's law. Now let me take one more circuit where we have a complicated circuit here. So little bit complicated circuit here. Let us say this is 10 volts, this is 2 ohms, this is 3 ohms. Now how to find the current through 2 ohms and 3 ohms? Now in this type of circuits I am going to use the same concept. This is at negative potential or negative terminal of this battery or cell. So as it is 0, this I can take it as 10 volts. So I am going to take it as 0 and 10. So this is 0, this is 10. So as there is no resistance between these two, I can take this as 0 volts. Now between these 2 points also there is no resistance. If there is a resistance, potential will decrease. If there is no resistor, if these 2 points are connected with a wire, we can take the potential at this point as 0. At this point also potential will become 0. Now as we are moving from this point to this point, so we are moving from 0 volts to 10 volts, and there is no resistance in this path. So this will be at 10 volts, and there is no resistor here. This is also 10 volts. There is no resistor here. This is also 10 volts. Now let us see the current passing through this one is I1. Current passing through this one is I2. So how to find I1? I1 is the potential difference between this path, that is 10 minus 0. I2 is equal to 5 amperes. Similarly in this path, the potential difference between these two is 10 and 0. So I2 is given by 10 minus 0 by 3, that is 10 by 3 I2. Let me take one more circuit here, a similar circuit. So this is a middle battery. In this one more battery is connected like this, one more resistor is connected like this. So here also we have one more resistor and we have one more battery. So this is the given circuit. In this circuit, let me take this as 10 volts, this is 6 volts, let us say this is 8 volts, and this is 2 ohms, this is 4 ohms. Now what are the current through 2 ohms and 4 ohms here? What we can write by using this cell circuit theory, so this will become 0 volts, As there is no resistance between this point and this point, I can write this also 0 volts, 0 volts and 0 volts. Now, after this, let me take these points as A, B, C. Now, what is the potential at B? As we are moving from here to here, as we are jumping, the potential at this point will be increased by 10 volts. So, the potential at B is 10 volts. Now, as there is no resistance between B and C, the potential at C is also a 10 volts only. Now, as we are moving from down, here I am jumping to negative, so the potential decreases by 6 volts. So 10 minus 6. So let me take the point here. Here the potential at D will be 10 minus 6. So this is 4 volts. So I know the difference between these two. So if I know the potential difference between 2 points, here I can find out the current passing through this one. That is, I will take this as I2. So I2 is given by potential at D minus potential at this point. So here I am taking it as 0 by the resistance is 4. This potential at D is 4 minus 0 by 4. So this is 1 ampere. So how much current is entering here? The current entering is equal to 1 ampere. Similarly, in this case also, what we can write as the resistance voltage here is given as 10 ohms and this is 0. You can see if you move from this to this, I am jumping to negative potential. So negative terminal. So out of 0 volts, I lost 8 volts here. So the potential at this point will become minus 8 volts. Now you can see the potential at this point is 10. The potential at this point is minus 8. So here I am going to find the current as I1. I1 is given by VB minus VA by resistance between these two is 2 ohms. What is VB? That is a high potential minus of minus 8 by the resistance between these two is 2. So I1 is equal 18 by 2. So this is 9 amperes. So how much current is entering through this one? This is 9 amperes. So this is 1 ampere. So I1 is equal to 9 amperes. I2 is equal to 1 ampere. So the current is coming to this middle battery. 9 plus 2 will become 10 amperes. So this is 10 amperes. So this is how we can find out the current through this circuit at different resistors. So current through 2 ohms is given by 9 amperes. Current through 4 ohms is given by 1 ampere. So here I am not using the cell theorem or even the Kirchhoff voltage law or current law, by just using this simplest method. As there is no resistance, the potential remains as same. As it is connected to 0 volts, then it will become 0 0 0. We can solve this problem very easily. Now is Wheatstone's bridge. So this was very important for PUC. Already studied this. So there are 4 resistors which is connected in the form of a quadrilateral with resistance P, Q, R, S. Between these 2 points, a battery of EMF E is connected here and a galvanometer is connected between these 2 points here. So let me take this as A, this point as B, this point as C, this point as D. So this is A, B, C, D. If 4 resistors are connected such that the ratio of the resistors in the upper branch is equal to the ratio of resistors in the lower branch, even though galvanometer has some resistance, no current will flow through the galvanometer. So that is called a balanced Wheatstone bridge. For a balanced Wheatstone's bridge, the first condition is the ratio of resistors in the upper branch P by Q, this resistance by this resistance, must be equal to R by S. Second one, when it happens, the potential at this point B must be equal to potential at this point D. So VB is equal to VD. So this is the second point. When the potential between 2 points is same, no current will flow through the galvanometer. The current through galvanometer will become 0 and this path BD will become ineffective. Path BD is ineffective. Ineffective means in the sense no current is passing to this one. Whether it is present or absent, there is no problem. There is no change in the other conditions. Now this will become ineffective. Now the circuit, what is the resistance in the upper branch? In the upper branch, the total resistance is P plus Q. In the bottom batch or lower branch, the total resistance is R plus S. Now these are the resistors. Now the upper branch and lower branch are parallel to each other. Why? Because whatever the current that is coming here will divide into two parts here. Now from this we can write the effective resistance or resultant resistance of this balanced Wheatstone bridge. Resultant resistance of a balanced Wheatstone bridge is given by, as these two are parallel, R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. This is R1, this is R2. So we can write P plus Q into R plus S by P plus Q plus R plus S. So R effective of a balanced Wheatstone bridge is given by P plus Q into R plus S by sum of all the four resistors, P plus Q plus R plus S. Let us say the current through this branch, let me take it as I1 and current is I2. The total current is divided in two parts. So what is the potential drop between A and B? That is the current into resistance. So that is PI1 is the current into resistance in this branch. Here potential is E. Here the potential will remain as E only, as there is no internal resistance. Let us say this is an ideal cell. If it is E, there is some drop here, but the condition is VB is equal to VD. That means the potential drop here must be equal to the potential drop here. So we can write PI1 is equal RI2. So this is the condition, one more condition. Why? Because in competitive exams they may give for a balanced Wheatstone bridge, they may give all these 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also 5. All these 5 are correct. Especially in JEE advanced exam, sometimes they may give for a balanced Wheatstone bridge in matrix matching type method, they may give 5 options on the right side. So they may give all these 5. So all these 5 are correct. Let us say if P by Q is not equal to R by S, so that is an unbalanced Wheatstone bridge. For unbalanced Wheatstone bridge, Wheatstone's bridge, unbalanced means P by Q may be greater than R by S, or P by Q may be less than R by S. Let us say P by Q greater than R by S. So the ratio of the resistance in the upper branch is greater than the ratio of resistance in the lower branch. As the ratio is less, this point will be at high potential. So the potential at D greater than potential at B. So we know that current always flows from high potential, low potential. Then current flows from D to B. That means from bottom to top. Similarly, if you take this case where the ratio of resistance in the upper branch is less than the ratio of resistance in the lower branches, then the potential at B is greater than potential at D. Current flows from high potential, low potential. So here current flows from B to D. It is easy to solve problems if the Wheatstone bridge is a balanced Wheatstone bridge. Why? Because P by Q will become R by S. The intermediate resistance will be can be neglected. Then resistance in the upper branch will be P plus Q. Resistance in the lower branch R plus S. Suppose if there is a Wheatstone bridge like this, this is a Wheatstone bridge, this is R, and this is also R, intermediate, but this is a NR, N times the resistance of this one. this is also NR. This is called anti-symmetric Wilson bridge. Anti-symmetric. So this is not a balanced bridge. Why? Because R by NR will become 1 by N. NR by R will become N. So this is 1 by N, this is N. So this is anti-symmetric. Now, if you connect a battery to this one, how the currents will be divides in this circuit? Let us say the main current coming from this one is I. Let us say the current through this one is I1. Current through this branch, let us say this is I2. Whenever this type of currents are anti-symmetric, if it is R, the same current will flow through this one I, and if it is I2, the same current will flow through this one as I2. Now you can see, as these two are symmetrical, currents in these two branches must be same. Similarly, as these two are same, the current through this one will be same. So out of I1, I2 current is flowing here. So what must be this current? This must be I1 minus I2. We will check it. If you write here I1 minus I2, this current is I2 here. So these two currents are joining and giving here. So this is I2, this is I1 minus I2. So if you add these two incoming currents, I2 plus I1 minus I2 plus I2 minus cancel, this will become I1 only, which is proved here. So this is the division of currents. If you know how to write this division of current, now we can apply Kirchhoff voltage law to find the effective resistance of this anti-symmetric Wilson bridge. So let me take this path as 1, and let me take one more path by using this potential as V. Why? Because we need total resistance. Let us say this path is 2. Now this is A, B, C, D. So first closed path is A, B, D, A. So first closed path, we can apply Kirchhoff voltage law only for a closed path. So A, B, D, A. So in this, what is the resistance drop here? For A, B, current to R into I1. For B, D, I am moving from B to D, current is also coming from B to D, resistance is R. So this will be R into I1 minus I2 plus D to A. I am moving from D to A, current is opposite. So this will become minus NR I2, which is equal to 0. So when you are using this for closed path, use this concept. The path along which we are moving is also equal to the path along which the current is flowing. The positive drop will be there, current drop will be, voltage drop will be positive. Now, so here you can see RI1 plus RI1 minus RI2 minus NRI2 is 0. This is RI1, 2RI1 minus this I2 common NR plus R will be 0. If you take R common here, 2RI1 minus I2 into N plus 1 into R is 0. RR cancel. 2I1 is equal N plus 1 into I2. So I1 is equal N plus 1 by 2 into I2. This is equation 1. So I got relation between I1 and I2. Now let me take the second path. ADCA, or you can write this point as E. Now for second path which is equal to ADCEA, in this path between A and D, this will become NRI2. Between D and C, this is RI1, which is equal to the EMF of this battery, which is given as V. You can take R common here. NI2 plus I1 is equal to V by R. This is equation 2. But I know the value of I1 in terms of I2. So in place of I1, let me substitute this value. NI2 plus I1 is equal to N plus 1 by 2 into I2 is equal to V by R. You can take I2 common here. If you take I2 common, N plus 1 by 2 is equal to V by R. 2n plus n, 3n plus 1, 3n plus 1 by 2 into I2 is equal to V by R. I2 is equal 2V by 3n plus 1 into R. So this is I2 here. So I got the current, second current that is passing through NR resistance, which is given by 2 times the voltage applied by 3n plus 1 into the resistance R. Similarly, if you want to find out I1, I can write I1 is equal n plus 1 by 2 into, I got I2 value here, let me substitute I2 as 2V by 3n plus 1 into R. Now cancel 2 and 2. So I1 will become n plus 1 by 3n plus 1 into V by R. This is I1 value. We know that the total current I is divided into I1 and I2 because there is no I3 or I4. So we can write the total current in this branch is given by I1 plus I2. Total current is total potential applied by total resistance of this combination of this bridge. What is I1 here? This is equal to n plus 1 by 3n plus 1 into V by R plus what is I2? 2 by 3n plus 1 into V by R. Now where V is the potential of this one, you can cancel this V. So 1 by R equivalent can be given as, you can see the denominator is the same, 3n plus 1 into R, 3n plus 1 into R. So let me take this as 3n plus 1 into R, and numerator you can add n plus 1 plus 2. So this is 1 by R equivalent, which is given by n plus 1 plus 2. So this is n plus 3 by 3n plus 1 into R. So this is 1 by R equivalent. So what is R equivalent? 3n plus 1 by n plus 3 into R. So this is the R equivalent in this circuit. So very, very important. Now let us say R is equal to 10 ohms and NR is equal to 40 ohms. This is 10 ohms, this is 40 ohms, this is 10 ohms. So what is the effective resistance of this combination? You can see as it is 10 ohms, this is 40, so it increased by 4 times. So N is equal to 4. So R equivalent for this circuit is given by 3 times of that 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 3 into capital R, which is equal to 10. So 3 4s are 12 plus 1, 13 into 10, 130 by 7. So this is R equivalent. If you remember this formula, then you can solve this problem in 2 steps. So the formula is 3n plus 1 by n plus 3 into R. So please remember this formula.